Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs that we know was a musical fantasy film produced by Walt Disney in 1937. This was based on the later version of the German fairy tale written by Jacob Grimm and Wilhelm Grimm back in 1812. However, Disney adaptation is a child-friendly approach compared to its origin. Here's the interesting facts about Snow White. The original title of the story was written as Sneewittchen, which is a dialect spoken in the northern European lowlands, also called Plattdeutsch, a predominant language in northern Germany back in Middle Ages, but later received in use when the shifting of power to German states further moved south. In 18th to 19th centuries, where mass education used the High German as a standard language, Low German or Plattdeutsch was then associated as a language of the uneducated, further declining the interest of the population to continue using it. From what I could find, Snee means snow, Wit means white, and Chen is a diminutive suffix which is a word ending used to indicate smallness. So, Sneewittchen is not just Snow White. It can also be translated as Little Snow White. Film often describes Snow White as a young girl in the age of 14 to 18. However, Grimm's brother's story, she was described as a 7-year-old girl when her beauty starts to overtake the queen's appearance. Snow White's stepmother never existed in 1812 edition. The mother who wished for a daughter as white as snow, as red as blood, and as black as a wooden frame is the same mother who started hating Snow White. Sneewittchen is just one of the folk tales that the Grimm's brother published in a book. These are stories that are passed down through spoken words, and they wanted to secure a written record for the common people. As they published the 1812 edition, the book gained popularity. It especially grew a larger audience for children, which was not the intended readers during the first prints. They then realized that the moral of the 1812 edition isn't suitable for children, so they introduced the stepmother on the 1819 prints. These changes are driven to secure sacredness of motherhood and for children not to fear their biological mother. It was also the period when oftentimes children are raised by a biological father and a stepmother because most of women does not overcome threats of giving birth. There are also assumptions that wicked stepmother is often used as a character associated to evil and embodiment of rage, jealousy, and envy. Adding this character gives reflection of what was socially accepted and norms during that time. When the Seven Dwarfs met Snow White in the Grimm stories, they were never given a name. Both 1812 editions and up to the 1857 editions, they retained calling these characters as the Seven Dwarfs. It was in the 1912 Broadway when they were first given names, which was Blick, Flick, Glick, Snick, Plick, Wick, and Key. After the success of the Broadway, the story continued to a silent film which was shown in 1916. This was the version that inspired Walt Disney to create his own animated version and paved way for the Seven Dwarfs to carry the personality by blessing them with names in the animated film. These are all familiar and loving dwarves we all know who are Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey. Another interesting speculation I was able to read was that the dwarfs was an inspiration taken from actual miners back in 1500s. Margaretha von Waldeck was known for her beauty. She was a daughter of Edzard the Great who owns copper mines, which operates using child laborers. This condition was not good and oftentimes suffer from malnutrition. They were also called poor dwarfs because of their appearance. Now, these are just speculation and considered by experts as far-fetched theories, but as someone who loves watching classic animation, I believe that this is great point of view that can be adapted in the film, focusing on the background characters and continuing what Walt Disney did in the first animation film and giving life to the unnamed ones. If you like this video, please do subscribe and thank you for watching. Goodbye.